Alright guys, so we're going to do a weekly Instagram Q&A. I'm just going to basically pull out random questions, maybe 2 to 3, depending how long and detailed they are, and just answer them each week for you. So just bringing up the Instagram post. Let's see here. EcoJ8 says, Peptides, ? I'm relatively advanced. Waste? So my thoughts on peptides, guys, I really only like to use the GHRPs, the growth hormone releasing peptides, namely GHRP6, solely for the fact that it's a ghrelin agonist. It is very good at increasing appetite. So for a hard gainer, an ectomorphic somatotype, someone that is truly a hard gainer, thin bones, they're skinny, but they're also very lean. Not skinny fat, but a true ecto. It really needs to pack in calories, and those are the types that can really eat anything. Dietary fat doesn't matter, high glycemic, low glycemic carbs doesn't matter, and they really just need to force it in. I used GHRP6 mainly infrequently. I noticed whenever you would use it frequently, multiple times a day, you'd get accustomed to it and you'd get desensitized to it. So if you can use it maybe like 3 times a week, and when I'd pulse it, I would do 300 micrograms. You want to see how you react first to 100 micrograms, because sometimes people have a really sensitive gastric emptying effect. So the gastric motility is increased, so you can have like an instant X-lax, run to the bathroom, shit your brains out type of experience, because that's the GHRP6 taking effect. So that's another way you know it's real too. So for peptides, I really like GHRP6. Now if you're going to use peptides to induce GH secretion, all that stuff for endogenous GH from your pituitary, I don't think it's anywhere near growth hormone. And I'm just going to put that out there straight up. That's just my opinion. If I were to try to mimic growth hormone, I'd use ipamorelin because it's lower in releasing prolactin. It doesn't cause the same cortisol spike that the GHRP2 and GHRP6 causes, less water retention as well. So ipamorelin combined with a GHRH, so growth hormone releasing hormone, which would be modified GRF 129 or a CJC 1295 long acting. You just do 100 micrograms of each, microdose as many times throughout the day as you possibly can, because I believe the frequency in those is a lot better, because I think the activity life is only 10 to 20 minutes. If you can pulse it, the more you can pulse it throughout the day, if you don't have a normal person's job, and you work at home or whatever, you can inject yourself 10 times a day, then that's probably the best route. I just don't think it's anywhere near as effective as growth hormone. If you have growth hormone, whether it's generic or farm grade, if generic's testing high on serums, that's better any day of the week, in my opinion, than peptides. But peptides for appetite is phenomenal. I'll just stop there. Next question I see here is GH by the classic 80s and 90s? Is GH necessary to turn pro? Would you recommend it to juniors? And best suitable drugs and fillers to recomp? So that's a couple questions in one. Is GH necessary to turn pro? No. There's been, I'm sure, a lot of people that are genetically gifted that turn pro without GH, of course. He didn't refer to bodybuilding, classic, physique, or whatever. He just said turn pro. I'm going to assume men's bodybuilding, 212s, open. There's been several, I'm sure, people that have turned pro without growth hormone. Some guys just are genetically made to be amazing in the sport. Ronnie Coleman, Kai Green. There's several others, guys, that didn't have the monetary means to afford GH. I've worked with some pros, I won't name names, that didn't have a lot of money, that used very minimal cycles, that competed at a pro show without growth hormone. So yeah, it's very possible to turn pro. Now for the current crop, which I don't see, there's not a lot of, I don't think there's the same genetic pool that was basically in the 90s that we were seeing. So a lot of people now definitely are pedal to the metal with growth hormone, insulin, and the national level to turn pro. And sometimes they really don't make a dent in the pro scene. But no, it's definitely possible to turn pro without GH. So that's, without question, definitely is. Remember, the mainstay is always anabolics. You can have testosterone at 500 milligrams only, or 4 units of growth hormone only with no testosterone. You choose the testosterone, you choose the gear always. The growth hormone is secondary, adds to a synergistic additive effect. You know what, I'm going to stop there, guys. I don't want to make these too long and drawn out. We'll do another one next week. So that's this week's Instagram Q&A.